So, what happens if you get a remote viewer? You can actually remote view, because if you listen to the American military experts, they'll tell you that only a few people can remotely view, and the remote viewing courses basically are bullshit, but there are a few people who can remotely view. So, and the American psychic warfare program differed from the Soviet in that the Americans tried to train up intelligence agents, and the Soviets were far more intelligent. Let's find people who can actually do it. Psychics, super psychics, meta psychics, whatever you want to call them, paranormalists, and then teach them tradecraft, espionage afterwards. Now we've got a remote viewer who can actually remotely view. I'm officially the UK's leading expert. Then, of course, you want to be able to interact with the quantum information, which produces quantum perturbations, produces quantum wave functions, and then of course they're collapsed by the observer, which is the Copenhagen interpretation, and to do that you need something called remote sensing, which is being able to directly interact your conscious field with quantum information, 0-point energy, to produce the quantum fluctuations, to produce the quantum fields, to collapse it, to produce observable reality. So, if you're going to go down the road of being the God Emperor, you have to be a really good remote viewer and able to be the best at quantum manipulation using the conscious first, which I am. Then, of course, if you want to be the God Emperor, you've got to be a Nagual man, to have a 4-load energy body instead of a 2-load energy body like everyone else. Why? And then, of course, you can interact with the full vector of electromagnetism. The electromagnetic force potential. I won't bore you with all the physics, and that means, therefore, if you're a Nagual man, you can interact with light. And according to Theodore Kaluza, light is gravity in the 5th dimension, which links up with hyper-infinity Higgs field and turning quantum information, quantum perturbations, quantum fields collapsed by the observer Copenhagen interpretation into reality. So you're off to the races. Then, of course, if you can bilocate into a time crystal, you can then use this device, which is the uranium-235 or plutonium of Psy-Geddon, not Armageddon, to reverse the whole process. So we go from observer back to quantum wave function, back to quantum perturbation, back to quantum information, back to the conscious verse. So with this you can actually erase reality, or certain aspects of reality. So what happens when you then reverse the reality using how you got there on a nuclear weapon. Well, what happens is the nuclear weapon doesn't go off, which explains how the aliens turned off American nuclear weapons, and of course why it can shut off all the American filth and Western filth's nuclear weapons using the God Emperor technology. All because we got time crystals. Until they were incepted, this wasn't possible, but now, of course, you can turn off all the Western filth's nuclear weapons. Of course, I won't turn them off when they erase Iran and turn it to glass, because the only good uranium is Israeli uranium. But a full-scale nuclear exchange between America and Russia won't end well for the Americans. No, their bombs won't go off, but the Russian bombs will go off. Same with the Chinese. Same with the North Koreans. I love Kim. Don't you think he's cuddly? Till he sets the attack dogs on you. So, as you can see, the end of humanity via a full-scale nuclear exchange has ended once you reach the other pathway, which is the Psy-Geddon pathway, which we've reached. So in the mitochondria, your ATP is produced by electron transport, which I explained at great length in the anti-aging videos. And by the by, with this technology, of course, if you can reverse reality with time crystals, then of course you can reverse cameraman. Anti-aging, yeah. So I always wanted to be a gerontologist, and got my wish via learning about psychic warfare, leading to control over realities, leading to matricization of realities. So, when you remotely view and get into the remote sensing state, now, Tim, you're always, you should be in front of the screen showing your wonderful, handsome face, and doing what everyone else on YouTube does, instead of which sitting in a comfy armchair, drinking beer, and flicking through the internet and YouTube. No, because you can't remotely sense, you can't shut down your internal dialogue, but you've been trained to do that to get into remote sensing. How? What do you carry around with you 24/7 and leave by your bed in case you missed a call? Your cell phone. So the only way you're going to get into the remote sensing state is through a screen, because your psycho chimps that have become not gogglebox addicts, but your smartphone addicts. So the only way that you can get into this technology is the way I'm showing you, through a screen, which then shuts down your internal dialogue, gets you into the remote sensing state, which you need to interact with quantum information, quantum vacuum, quantum perturbations, quantum fields, and collapsing quantum wave function via the conscious verse. And even though you're in a matrix, same rules apply. It's a simulation of the real stuff. Now, if you simply observe the target for 30 seconds with the time crystal, reversing this electron transport, so you do the micro remote viewing of David Morehouse on any target for 30 seconds, you shut down the electron transport and they run out of energy, and within 30 seconds of remote manipulation, they become dead as a dodo. You complete your remote manipulation. So as you can see, shooting people with guns, dropping bombs on them, gassing them, bioweaponing them, becomes obsolete. You simply need teams of remote manipulators using my devices to shut down the electron transport chain in the targets. And who are the first targets? Who are the first on the front line of World War III? Because the only good American billionaire is a God Emperor, Psy-Geddon American billionaire. Every single American billionaire has been remotely manipulated already and has gone to their grave. And remember, you don't go after the billionaire alone, you go after every single member of the family, because remember, every single member of the family must be slaughtered like dogs, because the American filth billionaires are on the front line of World War III, and thanks to Elon Musk and Peter Thiel, they were launching satellites over the Trang to fry me and getting their disposables to try and spread tags as aiming mechanisms. They went to inhalable tags. So they've declared war on the God Emperor, and the only result is that every single American billionaire has been slaughtered like a dog by this technology. And since, of course, I'm five-dimensional, it doesn't happen all at once. It happens according to my plan. And of course, I've got all of my attack dogs. If Kim Jong-un's got attack dogs, I want to attack dogs, because he's a great leader. And what's good for Kim Jong-un, I got to be following my great leader. So my attack dogs are you former vampires who get this technology, and in the game that you just entered by signing up to my God Tech, you gain points going after the golden pigs. And the more you attack them, the richer you become and fit you become. Remember, they've got loads of children, you can suck them dry to get fit and healthy, and we are now good to go.